Welcome to the Leather Lounge, a weekly show recorded live every Tuesday where we explore the latest innovations in the Bitcoin ecosystem. From DeFi and dApps to digital art, we bring you in-depth conversations with developers, artists, and community leaders who are shaping the future. Whether you're here to learn about cutting-edge projects or to deepen your understanding of blockchain basics and decentralization, Leather is your go-to source for all things Bitcoin. Content shared on this podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only. It does not constitute financial, investment, or legal advice. The views and opinions expressed are those of the host and guests and do not reflect the official policy or position of any other agency, organization, or company. We encourage you to conduct your own research and consult with a qualified professional before making any financial decisions. All right, everyone. Hello and welcome back to the Leather Lounge, where each week we bring you conversations with the most prominent builders, artists, founders, and innovators in the Bitcoin ecosystem. I'm your host, Sean Longstreet, and today we're highlighting the winners and finalists from the Stacks Biddle Battle, a global competition that drew over 100 submissions from developers building on Bitcoin via Stacks. From AI-powered wallets to on-chain identity and prediction markets, these projects are pushing the boundaries of what's possible on Bitcoin. Each group will present what they've built, give a live demo or a walkthrough, and share what it took to bring their ideas to life. We'll be hearing from the teams behind Proof of Transfer Agents, Culture.fun, BNS1, Bolt Protocol, Truth Chain, BigMarket.ai, Blaze Protocol, and BitForward. To kick things off, we're going to chat with Adam Hahn from Stacks.org, who will give us a bit of context on the Biddle Battle, the judging process, and some behind-the-scenes highlights. But before we start real quick, I would like to ask you all to please share out the space if you're watching live. And you can find that live feed at Leather BTC here on X. We are working hard to grow this audience and bring more visibility to the incredible people building on Bitcoin. So your share really helps amplify that. And if you're enjoying the show, please consider leaving us a review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, or just hit subscribe. It's one of the best ways to support what we're building here at the Leather Lounge. All right, so let's get into it. We're going to start with Adam. Adam, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Sean. Happy to be here. First time in the lounge. Feels great.
I know. We're coming up to about a year, so I'm kind of surprised that we haven't got you here yet, but what great timing. So
yeah,
I know we have a lot to get to, so maybe you can just jump in and give us some of the, maybe some background. What's your role with Stacks.org? How do you support? And yeah, then we can dive into some of the high-level highlights of what the Biddle Battle was all about.
Sure. So I've been in the Stacks ecosystem for about 3 years. I've been at the Stacks Foundation for all that time. At the foundation, I'm the head of community programs. So I do a lot of programming that is designed to serve builders and enable bringing more builders into the ecosystem. So that includes lots of hackathons, lots of builder competitions, lots of technical workshops in a very grassroots oriented way, doing lots of meetups and kind of like engaging lots of different Stacks chapters throughout the globe. And so that's kind of what originally started the idea and the conversation around Biddle Battle. We've done similar programs like this in the past. We've done lots of hackathons. We've done some virtual pitch competitions. We've held Ready Layer 2 competitions in the past. But conversations started to happen around late 2024, where we wanted to do something a little bit different this time around. We knew we were going to be expecting the Nakamoto upgrade, the SBTC launch, all this really great things were starting to happen in the Stacks ecosystem. And we realized it was time that we wanted to just really up the stakes and do something a little bit bigger, a much louder and larger splash. And that's where the idea of Biddle Battle came in. So Biddle Battle was a little bit different than any other competition that we've done because it was open for any project that had already been built on Stacks, while also engaging new builders, new projects, and anyone who wanted to pursue something. So we didn't really close it off that this had to be a brand new idea or this had to be like a brand new concept. And so when we started to toy with that, we really wanted to bring in a large level of attraction that builders would be looking for. So bring in like the best and brightest mentors, people who are going to be hosting the really really top notch workshops focusing on like the cutting edge tech that was just released. And then also, most importantly and probably most differently, we brought in a judging panel to that was all VCs and accelerator focused to do the final round of judging. So another difference with this program was this time around, there was basically, it was kind of more of like a tournament structure where there was round one and round two. And so we had different themes, we had different challenges, and basically the winner of the top two winners of the four themes that we had, a lot of those folks are here with us today. The four themes that we had were Bitcoin, DeFi, 3.0 digital economy, real world utilization of NFTs and ordinals, and then last was infrastructure and tooling. So within those four themes, there were two projects that won each of those themes. And then we brought on winners of three different challenges and then a wild card team. And so there was 12 winners from this overall round one, which followed a judging criteria that we've used in previous hackathons. So it's very builder focused. It consisted of a technical judging panel. That judging criteria was things focused around just like general innovation, technical implementation, Bitcoin alignment, really sound user experience, the potential, the impact of the idea, and then also like how the project utilizes stacks. And so with these projects from that round one, as I mentioned, they all advanced to round two. And then round two was taking the presentations that these projects put together and showing it to a panel of judges that was comprised of different investor backgrounds, venture capital companies, different accelerator programs, leads and managing directors at accelerators, and they were the judges for round two. And so when that round two concluded, which would have been last Friday or Thursday, I believe, then we had the final winners. And so that's kind of what brought us to where we are now. That's kind of the program in a nutshell.
Amazing. So obviously, anyone who has made it this far, who's joining us today, it as you said, it had to meet all the criteria. The UX had to be great. It had to be a great use case. Had to be Bitcoin aligned. There was one other one I'm missing.
The implementation, and then just kind of like general innovation. It has to be an innovative concept, something new, something different.
How hard was it to come down to the final winners?
Well, that's the thing that everyone on this call has been basically like pushing politely and challenging us with, is because we had to change the timeline of the program, because originally, I think when you design anything new product, like whatever it is, you do it in an iterative way. And so for us, meaning us, the Stacks Foundation, the people who put this program together, originally we had this 3-week timeline, which was week one was all about learning, which was focused on these workshops. Week two was all about getting started building, and you get help with mentors. And then week three was originally supposed to be judging. So submit your presentation, submit your project, and then we were planning to cram both rounds of judging all within that first week. And so we've, since I've been with the foundation, I don't know, we've done maybe a dozen different types of hackathons or builder initiatives, and we get really good results. On the lowest end, maybe we've gotten like a dozen or two. On the high end, maybe we got like 50 or so, where we're teaming up with a really large hackathon partner. This time around, there were 96 total submissions, and 81 of those submissions kind of like passed the submission test, which is basically like, is this a legitimate project? Is there a real human behind this project? And for the judges, the expectations we set with them were basically like, yeah, you can expect anywhere, but our goal was 40, 45 projects. And so we kind of set the expectation with judges like 50 to 60 projects on the high end. I remember checking the submission list the Sunday before submissions were due, and I saw it in like the 70s. And I was thinking like, oh man, this is going to be a really hard week for the judges. And then by the time the submissions were cut off, like I said, we were in the 90s. So I had to go through every one of those submissions, get it down to 81 that were legitimate. And then that got passed over to the judges, which went through the evaluation of these projects. So because there were so many, like it was overwhelming response rate, we ultimately had to change the timeline, and we pushed it back into the following week for that round two to be done, because we were scrambling. Judges were pressed to get through the projects in time, and it was a lot to get through. So that was kind of like what brought us to that.
Amazing. Well, I hope you can stick around because I do want to come back to you to circle back to maybe what's going to happen with all the other projects who maybe didn't make it all the way, and your thoughts on recruiting to the Bitcoin and Stacks ecosystems from other places as well. But I do want to dive in as well. Through our list, since we have so many great projects to get to. So first, we're going to talk to Nestor Campos from Proof of Transfer Agents. Nestor, welcome, and thanks for joining us.
Hello, Sean. Thank you for this opportunity to present the project. Thanks to Adam and all the Stack ecosystem to select us as the second place, the second prize in the Beadle hackathon, the Beadle battle. And I'm going to share my screen and explain what is our project, what is the idea. Let me share all my screen if you can see, because right now I'm going to share the GitHub at first. Maybe you can see. I'm going to. Can you see the screen?
Yep.
Perfect. What's the idea? What is the proof of transfer agent or POX agent? It's more than a framework. It's a toolkit to create AI agents to interact with the Stack network. What's the idea? I'm from Chile. I have experience working in Web3 and blockchain since 5 years. My family don't understand why I'm working in this type of project. What is crypto? And the idea is how I can solve this big problem in Web3 right now. Is how you can access to how our people can access to the Web3 to interact with the networks without understand, for example, what is a stack, how they can interact without understand the technology behind that. And the AI, artificial intelligence, can solve that. So that's the idea. That is the tool to interact in this toolkit that I'm working right now to extend with more features. You can, for example, get the wallet, get the balances, get some transactions, send, not just XTX, native token, you can send SBTC and more. This is the proof of concept. Right now, of course, I'm going to execute. That my family is not going to execute the CLI. That is too ugly. But in this hackathon, I validated the user experience. So the interaction, a simple instruction to make this type of transactions. I validate that with my family and some friends. So, and now I'm working to interact or to change and enable in Telegram, WhatsApp, and other messaging frame platforms. For example, how it works? I'm asking a single instruction. So, what is your balance? What or balance? Of course, I connected with my Stacks wallet, but as you can see, I have three functions for the balance: the native token, the token balances, SBTC and other SIP10 tokens, and NFT. I'm asking just one instruction in this toolkit is asking for three different functions. That's the idea. If you asking a complex instruction, this framework, this toolkit is detecting how many instructions, how many functions I need to execute behind that. I need, for example, make a swap, get different functions, different balances, send a specific token to another wallet. That's the idea. And here is you have. I have all the balance. And for example, I can, I'm going to try because right now is in testnet this transaction is sent to this, oops, sorry about that. Let me, I forget. So right now is trying to send 0.0001 SBTC to this address. If I say send one to this specific address, will send STX, of course, that depends on what token you want to send. And at first, it's detecting if I have this specific balance, is this specific amount in my balance to send the transaction. That's the idea. Is trying to execute the transaction right now. But right now, for example, I here, yeah, right now, sorry, the CLI is quite weird right now, but right now, that is the hash how it works. And that's the idea. It's a single toolkit, but I'm working to integrate with all Stack ecosystem, for example, with Velar protocol right now to ask, for example, the pools, the tokens, and more. And that's the idea, to join more people in the network without explaining what is Web3, what is blockchain. Use Bitcoin without explaining how works the wallet behind that. That is the full project right now. The proof of transfer is the name of the protocol for Stacks. POX agent. The idea, maybe the name is good, or I need to change in the future, but that is the idea of this project. Yeah, and I'm working for all this year. That this is the hackathon just was the first part of all this project.
Amazing, Nestor. Yeah, this is something that we talk about a lot on the show, is the idea of abstracting away some of the scary and technical sides of Web3. And so I can really see the appeal of helping onboard non-native, Web3 and crypto users. So what are the next steps for you?
Right now, I'm working integrating other platforms in this context. I'm working in two different parts. The first is integrating, for example, with Velar protocol, not just to asking different information, is to make, for example, swaps and other writing transactions in the network. The second part is enabling this toolkit as to integrate in Telegram. But for example, I'm from South America. We are using more WhatsApp, other messaging platform, not Telegram. Telegram is more for Web3 people, is more for other type of people or other regions in the world. So I'm working also in trying to integrate with the WhatsApp and other this type of messaging platform. And oh, sorry, right now maybe I have some error in the getting some info here, but that's the idea. And validating, of course, to create is is integrating, is enabling this project for every other stacks developer, so they can focus just in the user experience, the user interface. In my focus, it's just creating all the tools to interact with the network.
Amazing. Well, don't go anywhere, Nestor. If we have time, I want to circle back and just have an open discussion, but thank you for showing proof of transfer agents
Thank
to
you.
us. Yeah. Apollo, let's throw it to you so we can learn about culture.fun.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me on. And should I just go ahead and go into the screen share?
Yeah, go for it.
Awesome. So let me go ahead and just say that the way this all started was through a hackathon that started in February. And it was hosted by an Andrew Tate related company called fundraiser.com. We competed, and in the end, the entire hackathon got rugged. They blocked the Discord. It became a situation where there was nothing we could really do to reach out. So we came up with the idea for this to solve a problem that we saw, which was these Telegram chats, these Discord chats, they can kind of just get taken down at any time, and they're not really contract address specific. So we set out to solve the problem, ended up facing the problem, and then we were blessed with the Biddle Battle competition. I've been in Bitcoin since 2012. So for me to come back to Bitcoin with this project felt right at home. I had learned about stacks during the Bitcoin Startup Lab in 2023. the winter cohort. So what I loved about Stacks is that you'll see here, these are my Solana tokens that I was using to test during this Solana AI hackathon that got rugged. And what I love about smart contract applications or systems like Ethereum, like Stacks, is that it allows you to rapidly prototype. So rather than having to change everything, it became about like, wow, what can we do with Stacks to really realize this dream of creating a chat for Web3 people beyond just the no spam and the rugging and having it be token gated. We want to give people the ability to do something with these meme coins and create more cult around their cults. And it's meant to be fun. So what was great about this project was that with Stacks, we were able to create a smart contract to really test our proof of concept. And instead of falling into a situation where we got rugged again on a hackathon, we got a hackathon with mentors. We got a hackathon that presented us a vision for going forward, which was, hey, the Bitcoin Fi Accelerator is involved, a Bitcoin Frontier Fund is involved. So we've already been thinking about how we wanted to leverage the hackathon for reaching a proof of concept, getting some kind of validation, and then leveraging any kind of exposure to start doing customer interviews, building an onboarding process for waitlisting, and really be able to build a product that is consumer grade worthy. But we also see that there is potential on the B2B side for this type of chat to be implemented into places like Dex Greener or be used by NFT communities and token communities in their own applications. So this has really just helped us grow our vision and be able to really see all the options out in the ecosystem and get so much support from this hackathon, from the Stacks ecosystem, from all these people in this community that are real diehards. Blackfoot Joe wasn't able to be here today, but I did want to share this 2-minute video. This is a music video that Blackfoot Joe was inspired to create the music for. I ended up going on this marathon session on Sora and creating all these like crazy AI visuals, sent them back to him. He ended up editing it. And we feel this is like an anthem for the crypto community. We posted it the same day that we submitted to the hackathon, or the final submission day of the hackathon. It's getting some good traction, and I just want to play it for you guys.
Apollo, we actually don't hear the audio of it, but what I'll do is I'll put it in post for the rest of the show. I'm not sure if there's a way you can change your settings, but what I'll do is like when we share it again, I'll put the original one in its full 4K surround sound glory. I don't think Apollo can hear me through the banging music that's on his screen right now. The visuals are certainly wild. Nice. So Apollo, we
Thank
actually
you.
couldn't hear the audio, so I'm gonna clip the whole thing in post so that the final show like has the full version in it. But
Yeah,
we could
awesome.
definitely
Thank you.
get the
I
vibes from
wasn't
the
really
videos.
sure. I really wasn't sure, but I just went ahead with it because the visuals themselves take you on this wild journey into this like anonymous crypto like world. And it was a true passion project. It all sparked around this hackathon. Like the structure of everything with Biddle Battle really did help inspire us just to see that beyond working on something, we were on the correct ethereal spiritual path of like, let's create something. Because we actually were working on meme coin trading ourselves, and that's where we ended up finding all these rugs and all these problems. So we wanted to create something that even from like a UI UX perspective was simple enough for like the average AOL type minded person to be able to use. Because what we're seeing in meme coin culture is that you do have some boomers coming on board with things like Unicorn Fart Dust and Ron's Basement. So this is something that is really transcending that diehard crypto mind set and culture and extending out into just regular mainstream pop culture. And what we're going to see in the next 5 years is that like the term Web3 might just kind of blend away because connecting with your wallet, collecting things online, signing into your video games, I think that's just going to be the norm.
Yeah. Wow, Apollo. Okay, I hope we have time to come back because I wanted to get your thoughts and anyone else's thoughts who has experience doing these kinds of hackathons and developing outside of the Stacks ecosystem, so we can highlight like how it's different. So I'm going to put a pin in that and come back to you. But next, we got to move on to Bolt Protocol. So for that, I'm going to throw it to Bonoel. Doing my best
perfect.
Oh, perfect. There we go. Good. Welcome and thank you for coming. Why don't you tell us about your background and what Bolt Protocol is?
All right, thank you. Yeah, I am a software engineer, and it was a pleasure to participate in Build Battle. It was really nice to see so amazing projects here. I will share the screen to show how Bolt Protocol works. Is that okay?
Yeah, we see it.
All right. What inspired me to create this project was all the times I tried to onboard new users into the crypto world. A lot of people are open to receiving small payments in Bitcoin. And the first and most popular option is the Lightning Network. But you can send Bitcoin through Lightning to someone who doesn't already have Bitcoin. They need to open a channel. And open a channel is expensive and has its limitations. That's where Stacks and SBTC bring a great alternative. A user just installs a wallet and they are ready to receive SBTC. But when they are trying to send it, they hit another wall. They need STX to pay for the transaction. But they don't have STX, so we are stuck again. That's why I create this protocol, to integrate seamlessly with any Stacks wallet and fix this. Now, users can receive and send SBTC without worrying about any other token. And here's the best part. It includes what I call the Bolt wallet. It's not a traditional wallet. It's a way to instantly send SBTC to another user. And everything is secured on the Stacks blockchain. Okay, let me show how it works. I have two browsers here with boltprotocol.org. It's a referral system, so people can use it even before their favorite wallet integrates to the protocol. So I will transfer from my, let me copy the others from the left. I will transfer my sats from the right wallet to the left wallet. Okay, just paste the others. Let me send max. Okay, so check it out. I will send. Okay. My wallet. Okay. So as you can see, my contract call and transfer SBTC, the recipient, and the fee in SBTC. So confirm. Okay, it's supposed to show here. But all right, it's already done. It's instant. I just send it and it's transferred to another wallet. All right. And this is very fast. It's faster than Lightning Network, and everything is on the Stacks blockchain. These transactions is on the Stacks blockchain. Now, I have, it's not just for like bolt-to-bolt wallet that I call. I have like, let me show the advanced here. So it allowed me to transfer SBTC straight from my Stacks wallet to another Stacks wallet, a bolt to a Stacks wallet, and Stacks to bolt, so I can transfer SBTC to even outside the protocol. The bolt to bolt only enables the instant transfer, so it's a feature like Lightning Network, and it's not at all. Both protocol can also pay fees with SBTC for any transaction on Stacks network. To do that, we need to top up the fee fund. Okay. No STX is needed. This transaction needs to be confirmed on Stacks blockchain, so it takes a while. But let's check how it really works on another app. I have here Alex. Okay, let me. Alex. So I will use my SBTC to buy Alex and pay the fee with SBTC. Okay, and Alex has this results, but let me sure it's not sponsored. So it's like the traditional way to transact on a Stacks ecosystem. So I will try to buy it now. Alex, let me see. Okay. And okay, no fees needed. It's already paid with SBTC. Let me check the transaction. Okay. So right, created the transaction. Confirm. So okay, everything works without STX.
Okay, so you're abstracting away. You're eliminating the fees, and it's like from bolt to bolt, it's lightning fast.
Yes. So you don't have like a big issue is for user. Okay, I will send them SBTC and I am onboarding him. So they need to buy STX to transfer and to do everything on the stacks. So there's no need. So they can use like a wallet, like their bank account. They receive SBTC and they can pay another person with SBTC without need to worry about transaction fee.
Amazing.
And yeah. Our next step is partnering with Stacks Wallet. So uh, I designed it to be very simple to integrate with the Stacks Wallet. We already started to working with one, and then I also want to support stablecoin. I think it's very useful for a stablecoin too. So people will be able to pay transactions and transfer a stablecoin to another user without to worry with the fees with STX.
Great. So next steps, more wallet integration and more token integration.
Yes, perfect.
Beautiful. Thanks for that demo. Yeah, we'll circle back and check in next with Truth Chain and then Big Market AI after that. So, Arwolakondo, Arwolokinde, thanks for joining us. Tell us about Truth Chain. You're still muted.
Okay, hello.
There we go.
My name is Henry, and myself and Arowolo Kendi, we worked on this project together. We are Nigerians, and we are software engineers from the ALX platform, and our journey on the Stacks blockchain started last year. So I'll be taking you through this project. Although for me, I'm not my presentation isn't very prepared, but I'll just be showing you through the slides and everything and telling you what inspired this project and how we got here. So now as software engineers, we often come across bugs where we have to go and look for articles of other software engineers who have solved these problems on platforms like Medium, where people write articles, people make videos talking about a solution and a bug that you face when like on a project. So what inspired TrueChain for us was usually when you read these articles, you realize that for Medium articles, for the ones that are paid, when you actually pay, you have access to this article. Now, when you access this article, you can actually copy the content of this article and republish it on Medium as your own, meaning the original person who made this thing actually suffers from not earning or not getting enough from it because it is easily plagiarized. So we thought about a solution for that, and we came to TrueChain. As you can see, TrueChain is a decentralized content provenance on Stacks blockchain. Aside from our platform helping against plagiarism, we also noticed the rise of AI-generated content and deepfakes. It's becoming increasingly difficult to verify whether an article, image, video, or even digital content is from a trusted source.
Henry, are you
So
able to, can you try
currently-
resharing again? Because it says that your browser needs a screen sharing permission.
Okay, hold on. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. Actually, here, let's do this. Let's go to Big Market AI, and then we'll come back to Truth Chain. Antonio, do you want
Okay, that's
to?
fine.
Yeah, okay, we'll come right back to you. Antonio, let's hear about Big Market AI.
Yeah, I'm always ready. Where to start from? Maybe from the beginning. Hello, everybody. So some time ago, my partner on this project and I said like it would be great to build something over the Christmas period, that would have a Bitcoin use case and bring more usability to use case through some kind of engaging platform, right? And this is how the idea of Big Market was created. So let me talk a bit about big market before I show you our big Dora Hex page, and then show you a bit about platform. I'm trying to be quick and somehow, consolidate my thoughts, because we just started hacking. We did not have any deep plan. We just went on working idea on idea on idea and somehow build everything in. So let's talk about big market on the protocol level, right? So big market solved a challenge where we are enabling Bitcoin, so BTC, to interact with smart contracts via synthetic BTC and catamaran swaps. And this is a backend innovation. It's infrastructure we have built into our platform, but moreover, we have created a tool set that we have open source and put on internet, so that everybody who is out there looking into how to use Bitcoin on this way can, figure it out and understand where all of the transactions are going. So we gave this to the community. So that's the innovation in the big market platform, let's say on the protocol level. Now, the idea is that big market is a DAO, right? And if you want to be a DAO, we know all of the problems about the DAO from past DAO times. So how we solved it? Well, we said, let's build in the AI integration, and let's enable the platform to use AI to autonomously generate and resolve markets, right? But the users can own AI DAOs and these agents. So basically, users on our platform can come and run the AI DAO for themselves, fund it, and instruct the agent what kind of markets in which kind of category they would like to create. So imagine having digital organization that is just running for you in the background and generating cash from all of these prediction and people, let's say, participating in these predictions. And that came to idea when we had that, I was thinking...
Antonio, are you wanting to share your screen?
Not yet.
Okay, sorry to interrupt.
Later. So
okay.
A storyline, then a screen share.
Sorry about
that. Then we were thinking about, this on-chain primitives. So BTC staking into Clarity contracts, AI-powered prediction governance, and then we came to the real-time decentralized resolution mechanisms. And this is how a big market came to be. So the big market basically is let's say, a first prediction market platform that brings this native Bitcoin into programmable smart contracts to use in this synthetic BTC and AI agents. And what we ended up building is this truth layer for internet. And I'm going to explain a later bit, what are the new use cases for this, because this goes beyond Polymarket and this goes beyond Kalshi. And we just had a call with a legal firm from New York City, trying to explain this. And then it's mind-boggling. Okay, but how can we, legally run this platform, right? But there are definitely answers for this. So, where big market is where autonomous systems and real users forecast real world outcomes securely and at scale. At that scale means that for the first time we are able to run these markets, with a high frequency, because Polymarket does maybe, what's going to be the price of the BTC at 5 p.m., day tomorrow, or in 3 months, while, AI for this on the platform can run in a high frequency, which makes it quite different and unique. So the vision of ours was to become a global infrastructure for decentralized truth, where AI and Bitcoin and trustless smart contracts somehow, converge together. And this leads into these new forms of uses of prediction markets, like perpetuals and derivative tradings, right? There we can transform event-based markets into synthetic financial instruments, interest rates about X by June. So these are tradable perpetual contracts and so on. And we came up with the insurance protocol use cases, where use can be that the prediction market as a decentralized insurance primitive. So the market example would be, did hurricane landfall occur in, Florida at this date in 2025, and then the payout actually is insurance. And this allows a lot of these advantages, right? So how we are going to use it and how the institutions are going to be using it, it's now the question, right? So use cases are perpetuals, derivatives, on-ramps, insurances. We'll see how everything goes. And let me show you now where we have this. Okay, a little bit of screen share. My partner Mike is not on the call. He's like destroying the source code of the program now and fixing something. So it's like crazy. I'm going to share my window. Just a second. This could be it. So let's first come to the Big Market Dora Hex page for everybody who's interested. Firstly, we have explained like how this BTC, SBTC catamaran swaps are working, and it's currently on DevNet, and you can actually see here in action. So I don't want to run this video. Everybody can come back later and check it out. So this is the true innovation. And then also we have the video about the staking on the platform. But moreover, the platform is basically available on Big Market AI. And what's happening here is like everything that you see is like we created some of the markets, but in the background, we have multiple agents now creating the crypto markets. And these are the scalar markets, and we can run them like every hour, which is quite interesting, so that people, can participate on a different way than on existing platforms. And everybody can come here. Currently, I think this is running on the testnet. Some things are not working fully because we keep improving. But this platform now has a bit newer interface to accommodate all of these high frequencies markets, and that's all. But anybody who's going to be owning big token, and this is still under consolidation after the hackathon. Thank you, Adam. We have been put in touch with some of the amazing people. And now everybody has their saying, like, why don't you do it like this? Why don't you do it like that? Why don't you incorporate in Delaware? Why don't you have a Wyoming DAO corporation with a wrapper around Delaware? So like mind is exploding in the directions of what we can do. And, we are not the legal experts, so we are now taking everything in. But my idea was, and this is what I always want to somehow highlight, full community-based product. Like everybody can buy in token, everybody can own categories and markets. There are still rules that we are considering how to do this, but basically it is a security. So it's kind of not US friendly environment, but we are working with the smartest people on the planet, I would say, from New York, from Silicon Valley currently, and trying to figure out, okay, can we have, a prediction market that can be run by individuals, by corporations, and have legal structure that it can be like unplugged in United States and unlock that $1 trillion of Bitcoin liquidity. And I see the light on the end of the tunnel. We just like figured out, it might be costly, $20 million, but I don't think that's a price high enough for the innovation and what it can bring to the Bitcoin use case in general, and allow Bitcoin use case for institutions. But if you ask me, this is going to be the user-governed, user-run, for community-only platform. I didn't envision any kind of allocation for VCs. Now we are going through these discussions, and I don't know how it's going to end up. I know that we don't want to have an X channel, and we are never going to have an X channel or a Telegram channel. I did open it, and there is one post there. But maybe it's going to be the only post. This is why I love the culture.fun project, because when I saw it, I say, okay, this is what I want to integrate in. If you have a token, you can use it. So next to being like fully open and transparent platform where everything is like Bitcoin enabled, we have envisioned the sale through like 6 stages so that everybody can participate, create markets. And now currently I don't have a wallet here that is whitelisted to create a market. But as you see, like here, AI Markets prompt, this is working for us. The landing page behind this allows you, to compose your AI agent that's going to be working for you while you sleep, making money on predictions. We don't know how this is going to go because nobody knows. AI trading, something works, something don't work. So human interaction is definitely going to be needed. But this is currently the direction in which we are pushing the big market in.
Amazing, Antonio. Yeah, you touched on one of our bonus words here on the lounge, and that is Bitcoin finality. So yeah, can't wait to see the next level and how you're solving some of these challenges with working in the US. So this is amazing.
It's difficult, but they're going to get there.
Yes, That's the mindset you always have to have, right? Olakinde, I want to throw it back to you. If we've figured out the screen sharing settings, could you try one more time?
Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
Okay, so can you see my screen now?
Ooh, I see the same 3 flashing dots as... Oh, here it is. Yes, we've got it. Truth Chain.
Okay.
Great.
Yeah, so you're welcome to Truth Chain. As my partner Henry was saying, Truth Chain came out of like an idea where we found out that a lot of people create content, and that like with the rising of AI and deepfakes out there, you can create a content and come back tomorrow, and you don't know who created it. Like it can be, you can see like another image of it, something like that, exactly something like that, but you don't have ownership of your image. So now we want to give people ownership of their content. That's why we have Truth Chain now. So now Truth Chain is the just decentralized content verification on the Stacks blockchain. Now, so why choose Truth Chain? So now this is how it goes. You come to our platform, you register your contents on the Truth Chain, which is on the Stacks blockchain. Now we have the blockchain security and creator identity. So now, so you can create your content. So once you create your content, you sign up and log in. I don't know what happened this morning, but I've been trying to work on the website, but I faced some kind of bugs, and so I've been trying to like sort it out. So, so once you sign up, it brings you to this side. Once you sign up, you come to your content. You can create a content. You can register your content. Look at the total views, verifications. Also, you can also monetize your content. People can tip you for your content. You can tip the content creator on your for their particular content. You can register your content. You enter your content name, the description, the content URL, and you can also verify the content on the blockchain. So all these are like I was working on the particular aspect of the code this morning, and I don't know what happened. I faced a very serious bug. So that was why I thought about like sharing the slide. But I just want you guys to see what we have here, so that that's just all Future is all about.
It looks really slick. So is the content that people are uploading, is that stored on IPFS since this is on Stacks?
Yes, it's stored on IPFS.
Okay, great. So that's a lot more approachable, a lot more affordable than anyone who wants to, make an inscription as an ordinal on Bitcoin. There's not everyone is going to be able to store everything on Bitcoin L1, which is why Stacks using IPFS is much more accessible and approachable for a lot of people.
Yeah. So like partner said, we got onboarded into the Stacks blockchain last year, which was like late last year. That was when I even started my block. We started our blockchain journey, this blockchain and all of that. So we are still like very new to the ecosystem, and we're trying all our possible best to learn a lot from everybody. I've even been in touch with Adam, trying to learn from him, and also I applied to the Stacks Access whereby I can reach out to mentors and like get more info and more insights from them to learn more and also build a very innovative solution on the Stacks blockchain.
So I see this really applicable for artists and anyone who wants to protect IP, obviously. What are some other use cases that you either have been thinking about theoretically or that people have already expressed interest in?
Okay. So I'll hand over to my partner. He has more info about that. So it would answer your question.
I think you can turn off
Okay.
your screen sharing now too.
So, hello, please, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
So you mentioned other use cases we have. Uh, Now we still have like lots of features in mind. For me particularly, we have been discussing about scalability. Basically, we do understand that there are lots of people out there in the Web2 space who are not familiar with the blockchain, and we are looking at creating APIs. Although we mentioned our content, now our content. When you upload the content, you generate SHA-256 hash for uniqueness, meaning when another person comes to the platform to post or upload the same content, the person is notified that this content already exists under these users. And also, my partner did not mention, we have a feature to tip content creators on our platform. So now going back to your question, now for me, one of the things we plan for the new features we plan when we scale, one of the features we plan is creating APIs which would be in a different server, in a different database, like Supabase or Firebase for now, to help link the content, the articles into Web2 spaces. So now this just means that with TruthChain, we are looking at a platform where when you research the SEO can give you a content from TruthChain, why, because of the APIs linking from our blockchain platform to the Web2 platform, so that the general users can be familiar with it, and thereby we can introduce them to the Stacks blockchain. Primarily, now when you have to go to the platform to tip or to verify anything, now you have to connect your Stacks wallet. So this just brings more people to the Stacks blockchain and brings more users, more people to the blockchain generally. So that's like some of the features we are working on and we plan to implement in the future.
Nice. Well, thank you for sharing that. So that's TruthChain. Let's check in with our last presenter here. So Ishan, I hope please check in so I'm saying your name right, and please tell us all about what you're doing with BitForward.
Yeah. So hi guys, my name's Ishan. I'm from New York, Long Island. I'm an accounting major, so I'm still in college. So I'm not like you guys where I'm a full-on like grad. I'm also not a developer, but my team was mostly developers. Main thing is what we built with BitForward is it's forward contracts in the Forex market, which right now you just don't see in just DeFi in general. Like you could probably go to like a market maker like Wintermute or trading Chump Trading. They'll probably offer you forward contracts for crypto. But just to get involved with forward contracts with those market makers, you have to be an accredited investor in the US, and minimum is $150,000 just to open a position. And in general, forward contracts are big. They do around $1 trillion in volume a day in the foreign exchange markets, which if you just think about it, not even Bitcoin can do that in a single day, right? So it's a huge, huge market. And in general, it's not only Forex, it's in commodities, it's in, again, Forex and valuables and other asset classes. It's all over the place. And essentially what we built with BitForward is, let me just screen share my screen real quick. What we built with BitForward is essentially you're able to take, how do I do this correctly? Yeah. So essentially with BitForward, you're able to take your Bitcoin and make a forward contract between different currencies or different asset classes. So if you want to long the US dollar compared to the euro, right? You think some tariffs are going to come in by the Trump administration, you think the dollar is going to strengthen, but you don't actually want to hold these dollars or these euros. You just take your Bitcoin and open up a position, right? The idea is this really helps minimize any types of risk because in a forward contract, you have to still trust the opposite party. And in general, Forex is decentralized. So there isn't a centralized regulator or a centralized exchange where you can actually go and find these pairs. In general, like if you're trying to do a US to Euro forward contract, you need a US bank and a European bank to agree to the position. And it's locked between those two parties. So if somehow one party just doesn't go through, right? They say, nah, I'm not going to pay your money. You're pretty much at a loss. There's not really much you could do. Or if that bank loses the money, they say they had the money, they didn't have it. Like there's a lot of risk that really comes with forward contracts and just Forex in general. There's something called the Hersey problem, which pretty much says that a third of all Forex transactions a day are like under risk just because of banking problems in the current modern financial system. So through this system, you're just able to use Bitcoin as a reserve currency, right? You don't need any other currency. You don't need any other asset. If you really want to do a forward contract between any Asian currency to African, African and American, American to European, all you need is Bitcoin. And this could really extend out to other asset classes. But for what we built for this hackathon, BiddleBattle, we made it just for currencies. And you could do long, shorts, and you could even do hedges where if you want to hedge your Bitcoin compared to two different currencies. So let's say you have $100 in Bitcoin and you want to keep it at $100 worth of Bitcoin. usually people right now, they just sell it for a stable coin, but you can open up a 1x short and maintain that fiat level, but the amount of Bitcoin you'll have will vary, right? So if Bitcoin goes up, you'll have less Bitcoin to keep 100. If Bitcoin goes down, you'll get more Bitcoin to keep that 100. And the only way that's possible is because you'll have other longs and shorts feeding into that hedge position. But in general, how we built it right now for the hackathon, if I could show you, it's pretty simple as of right now. I don't know if you can see this, but okay, this thing keeps coming up in front of me, but what's it called? Right now, this is how the UI looks. It will be changed in the future, but as of right now, this is what we built for the hackathon. So you could choose a long or short position, what asset class, how much you want, and like the duration. So the main thing with forward contracts compared to your average perpetual is there's a time limit. So with perpetuals, you could just open your trade and then within 2 seconds you could close it. With a forward contract, you have to wait during the whole duration of the contract. So if you have a 90-day contract, you have to leave that contract open for 90 days unless it gets liquidated, right? Like if you have a long position and it drops 100%, you're going to get liquidated, right? That's how you keep it decentralized, because in a normal market, if it kept going down and down, you have to pay off that loss. But in this scenario, there's really no way you could do that. So you have to get liquidated. But again, that's the pro, right? There's a locked contract, there's a locked date behind it. So you're not going to expect someone to just jump out, jump in, which really does add some stability to these contracts. And you can add leverage, right? In the modern forward contract, in general, there is no leverage, right? Because you're doing already $100,000+, sometimes millions of dollars, so it's not really needed. But in this case, since we made it decentralized, we built on Bitcoin, we could add leverage, which makes it pretty nice at the end of the day. Like if you want to be a little degenerate. But on top of that too, we do offer a premium. So in premiums in TradFi, it's basically like if you take a position that's not selling or the bank really wants to get it off their hands, they'll offer you like a couple bucks, like, hey, here's 2% of the price of the option if you take it off our hands. Essentially, we're building the same thing because, again, you're going to have all these different currencies. You wanted some incentivization for people to become the counterparty. So offering a premium was exactly what we're going to build. We just took it straight from TradFi, threw it over to Bitcoin. And in general, there is no premium system right now in crypto in general, not even centralized or decentralized. In the centralized method, like in a centralized exchange, there's like a negative funding rate where you'd earn a negative yield. But in general, that always jumps up and down. With a forward contract, if you have a premium, you get that premium immediately, and you just have to hold out the contract. In general, you could try making a hedge on like a centralized exchange, but since that funding rate keeps going up and down, sometimes you'll be paying an interest rate, sometimes you're not. So that's kind of the pros and cons in the perpetuals. As of right now, though, the only issue we came up with during Biddle Battle is we couldn't create a matchmaking system where it would be automatic, where you could just open a position and have it automatically matched. The only issue with that is just because if you have someone that wants to open up like a, I don't know, like a Brazilian real to Indian rupee hedge, who's really going to be the counterparty to that? Someone has to like be the counterparty, because if they start losing, they have to pay it out. So for now, we just made a match position page where you could just match someone else's position and earn a premium if it's offered. But in general, if we did push this out fully, there would be like an automatic matchmaker and a premium setting that would actually just like automatically compute it, right? Calculate what the premium should be. And also on top of this, another cool feature we just thought of the last second was all these positions are NFTs. So if you really did want to sell it or you want to use it as collateral, you could take your NFT and just give it to someone else or sell it somewhere on a secondary market, which adds another layer of liquidity, like gives another layer of liquidity to these forward contracts, because you can't do that in real life. In real life, you'd have to take the contract and find another buyer. But in this sense, you could take that NFT, open up like a secondary market, and have people like put buy and sell orders for it. So that's pretty much what we built for Biddle Battle. This is just the equation what we built, but yeah, this is $1 trillion industry a day, right? This does huge volume daily, and if this could come to Bitcoin, right, I really expect maybe like banks, institutions really coming in, because you're not ever needing these other fiat currencies. You're just using Bitcoin as a reserve currency. Like a couple months ago, I spoke with someone from the Bhutanese government, their finance ministry, and this is something they really need because their currency is pegged to the Indian rupee, and the Indian rupee, you're not allowed to do forex trading with it outside of India. You have to do forward contracts with it. and they hold like 1/3 of their GDP is Bitcoin. So they said if something like this did exist for them, it's something they would 100% use. It just doesn't exist though, especially for a small country like them, since it's decentralized. They could just jump in immediately. So I have a lot of high hopes for this, especially as like a finance accounting major too. Like as something I'm a little geeky about. The developers, when I first came up with it, when I told them the idea, they thought it was a pretty dumb idea. Like why would anyone want to lock up their Bitcoin? But after a while, they pretty much got convinced like this is a genius idea, right?
Yeah, Sean, yeah, I see it. It is a genius idea. That's wild. Okay, so I want to throw it to Adam before then throwing it back to everyone else. So, Adam, I'm even more bullish on Stacks building on Bitcoin. Smart contract layer on Bitcoin, making it be more functional, putting your Bitcoin to work, and all this. I can only imagine what the other projects were doing as well. So, like I said at the beginning, I wanted to get your insights on how you guys go about like attracting new builders from other ecosystems and like what they're bringing in. Um, and then after your answer, I just want to close with anyone's thoughts on the differences, what you observe the differences are building in other ecosystems versus building here in Stacks, and what are some like what's the level of support that you got? So let me throw it to you, Adam, for your reflections and how you approach onboarding.
For sure. I mean, I could talk about this for a very, very long time at length, but the short answer is relationships. We have spent lots of time engaging with other ecosystems, other developer networks, universities, other partners. We have Stacks chapters all over the world. We have community developer communities such as Stacks Labs and Builders Academy that are based in Africa and based in Nepal. So I mentioned at the beginning, one of the areas that I focus on is very driven by grassroots efforts. And personally, I feel like that is the long game and the most effective way to reach people, find them where they're at, and ultimately kind of just dangle a very short incentivizing carrot in front of them, leading them to where we want them to be. And then once they get into the ecosystem, surround themselves with other builders, other players in the space, so they can form relationships to make them want to stay. You're playing a role in this equation, Sean, just by hosting everyone here in this room. This is the first time I'm seeing majority of the faces of people that are on the builders of this competition. So just naturally, we are progressing in our phases of relationships. After BuildleBattle concluded, we also announced a new program called Stacks Ascent. And Stacks Ascent is a program that is designed to support builders with additional resources, with mentorship, with funding opportunities, with grant opportunities. We're continuing to give builders the resources and the needs that they have to ultimately encourage them to keep building the projects and keep moving forward, building in the Stacks ecosystem. And then the last thing is, we going back to the relationships, surrounding the ecosystem with people who have microphones and can amplify messages. Deorganized Media had me on their show many times to talk about BuildleBattle, was truly utilizing their reach. And so we also teamed up with a lot of other of these developer networks, Rise In, Crypto Tutors. I'm forgetting several of them, but they're all on the buildlebattle.com website where you can see the community partners that we had. So we were just working very closely hand in hand with a lot of these community partners and, preparing a program that is of value to their networks. And so if you just line those things up, it's pretty awesome to see what the result is. And what the result is you're looking at it. You got to see 8 of the projects that were built during BuildleBattle. And there were still, several others that made it into the wild card round that were honorable mentions that didn't quite make it to the finals. There were still, again, we saw 8 quality projects here, but this was really just, half or a fraction of all the quality that was built throughout the BuildleBattle tournament.
Amazing. Yeah, like I said, it's really encouraging to see this new life coming into the Stacks ecosystem, especially as someone who's been around here since early days, since like 2021. Seeing this new, it's just a breath of fresh air, right? All these new people with this new energy, new backgrounds, experience on other chains and building. Apollo, let me throw it to you, and then anyone else who wants to talk about the experiences that you've had outside of Stacks and how you felt supported and things that you learned in the past, month, 6 weeks?
So the interesting thing about the conversation right now is that when I think back to how I even found out about Biddle Battle, I decided to go onto the Bitcoin Startup Labs X page, and I had competed in the Bitcoin Olympics back in 2023, and we ended up creating a prototype for something called Side Bet using Rootstock, and we won some funding, um, just prize money. But there was like I don't know how to explain it. They didn't seem excited about Rootstock, like the people from Rootstock. And what I've noticed about Stacks, first of all, it's fresh. It's not just like a Bitcoin version of Vitalik, which if I'm being realistic, like Ethereum is still one of the big three, but it just doesn't seem very attractive at the moment. And Stacks has this very friendly community. People are excited, and it's so close to Bitcoin. And then when you go outside of the ethos and the crypto aspects of it, like I said, I found out about the hackathon because the Bitcoin Startup Lab made a post about it, and that information from them ended up bringing me here, and that's how the universe puts us where we need to be. And I think the difference, if I already said the story, but I think the major difference is just that Stacks is building with fresh ideas. It's coming up to the stage with a fresh concept. And at the same time, it just seems more exciting, and they're willing to work with developers and the community a lot closer than Rootstock or even, I guess, Ethereum at this point.
But it would be great to see like more user, wallets buzzing in the stacks. Like we need definitely more user adoption, because if you take a look historically, I think somewhere around December, everything was like kind of looking dead. And I hope that this hackathon just like moves things in a different direction, because when Apollo says like, Stacks is coming with a fresh point of view, come on, we're here for last, 5, 6, 7 years building already. And I think it's ready for the prime time just about now.
Especially post Nakamoto and post SBTC, the foundation has never been stronger.
Yeah, the strong foundation is there. I think we will know Bitcoin as when government starts buying and after governments starts buying. So I think the time is now, because after government starts buying, it's going to be, very interesting.
Well, Rena talked about this last Friday on Good for Bitcoin, on how actually problematic it is that MicroStrategy is buying so much Bitcoin. They have Strategy, I'll correct myself. They have over 2.5% of the Bitcoin supply, and it's too much. It's too much. This is supposed to be.
We need to take power from them, and to take power from those players, we need to put the Bitcoin down on a fractional level, so that it's a dollar value, quick settlement, no fees, no wallets, because else at that point we might as well just burn it. Who gives a.
Well, yeah. When I look around at all of your faces and I think about the projects, there's so many different flavors of use cases here and techniques to onboard people, to abstract away the challenges. So this is a very encouraging call. I know we're kind of over time, but if anyone else wants to share any other reflections about the process so far, let me give the floor to anyone else who hasn't been able to share.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can everyone hear me? Yeah, so one thing I would like to say is like I really do like the Stacks ecosystem a lot because it is very active. Because like I said, the Stacks ecosystem was my onboarding to the blockchain. And when I joined, they were like all very active. If it's not the organized media, it's Stacks posting a Twitter space. There's always a Twitter space every day. I get notifications on my phone every day. Stacks, 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 Stacks. And from there, I fell in love with the Stacks ecosystem, joined the Code for Stacks Build grant, and I've been building. Also, Stacks Lab helped me too. So, and I was building, trying to learn more. And there are a lot of resources out there for the Stacks because Stacks is always dropping resources. Builders, you just come build and let's make Bitcoin great. So I really do like Stacks in the system and see great work from them.
Beautiful. Well said. That's a good note to end on. Adam, anything else before I throw our outro?
No, this has been great. I appreciate you holding this space for the builders today, Sean. I appreciate you having me, and I have, all my hats go off to all the builders on this call, as well as all the other builders who participated in Biddle Battle that didn't quite make it to the finals, but they did, put in the time. They did dabble into the ecosystem. I would encourage everyone to check out Stacks Ascent. Go to stacks.org/ascent. And you can learn more about the program and to basically what's next for you. And if anyone has any questions, find me on Twitter. I'm always happy to help.
Fantastic. Well, thank you all so much for showing up for a great show. Thank you all the listeners. Let me give everyone one more nudge. If you are not following on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please do that. Leave us a review if you feel so inclined. Remember that Leather is your gateway to everything Bitcoin, from DeFi to stacks and ordinals and runes and stamps, NFTs and more. And we're going to be back next week. We're going to be doing a deep dive on Alex Lab with Hadon. I had a little pre-chat call with him this week. The man is a genius, so you will not want to miss that. That's going to be next Tuesday, 11 a.m. Eastern. And always check out this Friday, Good for Bitcoin, 2 p.m. Eastern. So yeah, everyone stay in touch. Everyone on the show, don't close out just yet. Please stick around until so we can just make sure that all the recordings are uploaded. Once again, everyone, thanks again for joining, and we'll see you next week.
Bye. Have fun.
Thanks again for joining us in the Leather Lounge. We record each episode live every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Eastern. And if you'd like to listen in or join us on stage, make sure to give us a follow on X at LeatherBTC. Leather is your gateway to everything Bitcoin, from DeFi to stacks, ordinals, runes, stamps, NFTs, and more. You can find loads of helpful crypto content on our YouTube channel and visit our blog and learn center at leather.io. All right. So the show is done. Guys, that was